he's been linked to Bradford FC,
Oh,
where
really? Really?
yeah, they're actually
Your neck
saying
of the woods.
yeah, yeah, I
Yeah.
know, yeah. And they're actually saying that he's that the post was vacant. Now, I don't know of that post being vacant. Have you heard anything about?
No,
Uh,
no, I haven't.
no, I don't know of that post being vacant. Perhaps they said they must have sacked the previous manager or his contracts run out. But anyway, how do you think he'll fare at Brentford, Angie?
At Brentford. Is that what you said?
Yeah, Brentford FC, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, how do you think he'll fare? Because
Sorry, so is that
he's
what you said at the beginning?
yeah,
Brentford FC? I thought you
yeah,
said Bradford.
no,
You did.
Brentford.
No, no,
Brent.
no, no.
Oh,
That's
did
why I
I
said
say?
your neck of the woods. Yeah, I didn't.
Oh,
I thought you said Bradford.
all
And I
right,
thought, well, I
yeah.
hadn't heard of that.
All
No, at
right.
Brentford. I mean, I don't think he's formally appointed yet, is he, at Brentford?
No, he
Or
hasn't
is
been.
he?
I don't
No,
think
he's
he's been
not. No.
formally appointed, but I don't think Brentford had a bad season to get rid of their manager. I don't think they. Do you think they had such a bad season
Well,
to?
no, but no, I see. I think, yeah, sorry, I realise now what you're saying. I think you've probably forgotten that Thomas Franks, the manager,
Yeah.
he's gone, hasn't he? He's gone to caught me unawares here. He's been snapped up, hasn't he, by another team
In the
in
Premier
the
League.
Premier League. Yeah,
All right.
so they didn't sack him at all. But
Right.
he's done 6 years there, quite a few years,
Right.
and of course, as soon as we finish this, I'll remember who he's gone to. But yeah, he's managing. I mean, is it Spurs? I think it might be Tottenham.
Oh, it might be because they're the one
Yeah, I
that
think
don't
it's
have a
Tottenham.
manager. Yeah.
I think it is Tottenham. They've taken him there. Yeah, I can't
All
believe I
right.
forgot that. But yeah, I mean, so they Brentford didn't sack him. I think he would be too. He's too good, as you say. They didn't have a bad season. I don't think they had quite as good a season as they did the one before. But he always strikes me as a very on it manager. He's completely consumed by the moment as he's watching his team, and you know that nothing else could possibly enter his head apart
Yeah.
from what he's dealing with his team. So I think he's a very good manager, and as I say, he's worked well with a good Brentford team. You think when the guy who went, what's the name of the guy who scored all the goals, and he was banned for 8 months for betting. What's his name? He's in Saudi, isn't he?
Yeah.
Uh,
I remember
Played
his
for
name.
England as well. We know
Yeah.
who we're talking about,
Yeah.
but he managed him very well. Scored loads of goals he did for the club. So yeah, I think in Brentford they got it's a fairly new stadium now, isn't it? Down there by the A4 in London.
Mm.
So they got a good setup there. Um, so if Postecoglou does go there, yeah, I think he'll do okay, and probably will do better because in one way there might be less expectation on him. I mean, he did very well up in Celtic, but people say, well, almost anybody could. Well, that's probably not true, but he still did do pretty well up there, and he did get Tottenham the trophy that he said
Yeah.
he will get in his second season, and
Yeah.
a European trophy at that. So I think he's got everything to play for. Now,
Mm.
if he has come Christmas, if Brentford are languishing towards the bottom of the table,
Yeah.
then he probably would be up for being one of the early managers to be sacked because you wouldn't. One of the early managers to be sacked because you wouldn't expect someone of his pedigree, his experience, to not have a fairly quick impact on the team.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't see him struggling. But yeah, like any manager in a way, if he has a particularly bad start, that won't help him.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think he'll do well, and certainly I think Thomas Franks will do well as well at Tottenham. Mm.
Uh, uh, actually, I read it this morning. I thought, hmm, are they taking a risk here? But obviously, yeah,
Yeah, I wouldn't. If it was maybe Newcastle or someone in the top 6 or 7, I think you could be right because he's
yeah,
not proved in the Premier League yet.
yeah,
But I don't think it's a risk for teams, up to maybe the 12 or below the top 8. Say, I think it's not a risk. He's a
yeah,
knowledgeable guy, and I think what I hope we all learn lessons in life when we go through and realise we might not always get things right. And I
yeah,
hope he's learned for himself not to get too reactive to some of these reporters who, I know they got a job to do, but you just get a feeling sometimes when newspaper reporters know someone's got a bit of a sensitive spot, they
yeah,
go for it. I mean, maybe that's life. Maybe some people go for a vulnerability in all of us sometimes, if you're a certain type of person to do that. So if he's learned, I mean, okay, if someone's really rude to you, then say what you want, but just take it in good part, don't rise to the bait. And I
yeah,
think that could be a good lesson for him because he got to the point where he seemed to hate the press conferences and the people who were there. Not everybody was trying to trip him up, and maybe he sometimes overreacted to some of their questioning. But yeah, that's a side he might look at, and I'm sure he has, because on balance, I think he's a good football manager and strikes me as a thoroughly good bloke as well. So
I
I,
know.
I for one, wish him well. I do.
Yeah, I do as well. I quite like him actually because he doesn't get involved in all the controversies that, obviously, he's bound to be drawn into it because of the bad
Mm.
season or the bad start that he had to the season. But he doesn't really let him get under his skin. But it might just be that the British press is much more tougher than you expected.
Yeah, he just needs to just cool down a bit. Don't you
Yeah,
can get a persecution complex, not just in football, but in life. I mean, if someone feels that perhaps in their job or whatever, someone's always on at them or picking at
yeah,
them, you can think, oh, everyone's against me and all this. But in
yeah.
truth, people are not generally against anyone in particular. It's just how we sometimes read a situation, perhaps.
Well,
And
yeah,
yeah, I think he's probably vastly different away from his job and the cameras and the questions. We tend to think, it's going off at a bit of a tangent, but it's an interesting one, I think. We tend to think we know these people, don't we? Not just football managers or footballers, but anyone famous. We tend to think, oh, yeah, we see enough of them when they answer questions after their tennis game or when we see them being interviewed, if they're in a band or whatever. We tend to think we know them. And I
yeah,
suspect in 90% of cases or more, they're
yeah,
probably nothing like the perception we have of them.
yeah,
We only see, for example, Djokovic in tennis. This probably the GOAT, let's face it, greatest of all time in terms of wins of Grand Slams.
yeah,
We see this dedicated person. He's what is he, 38 now, and he's got to, he still adheres to that training regime and everything else.
yeah.
So yeah, we don't know these people, and I expect out of it, Postecoglou is a thoroughly calm, decent chap.
Absolutely. We love him. Right. So this is all we've got time for. I hope you enjoyed it. You've been listening and watching the football referee with myself, Emmy Hikins, and he calls me cuz.
And me, Trevor Gear, and he calls me bruv.
So it's a goodbye from me, and I'll see you next week.
Goodbye from me too. All the best.
Oh, that's good.